The journey to attaining financial freedom is like the real-life ability to restart from the last checkpoint of a computer game as opposed to starting from the beginning. Borrowing from this analogy, you want to structure your financial life in a way that if ever hits the fan, as it always does, you have many more income streams so that you don't always have to start from zero. My name is Agatha from the Wealth Tribe, and this is where we learn how to build wealth together. Now, attaining financial freedom is like a double-edged sword where you have to maintain two key aspects of your financial life: living below your means by managing your expenses and finding a way to increase your income streams. What are income streams? Income streams are simply different sources of income. There are two types of income streams. The first one is active income streams. Active income streams are the type of income streams where you have to perform a task for you to get paid. So you perform a task for you to earn. Literally, what you're doing here is you're selling your time for money. For example, this is exactly what you do with your 9-to-5 job. You have to put in a certain amount of hours for you to get a paycheck at the end of the month. And you know how this works most of the time. Most of the time, your HR will tell you, you didn't show up on Monday, so we are deducting that day that you didn't show up. Why? You're selling your time for money in these when you have an active income streams. Second type of income streams is a passive income streams. A passive income stream doesn't involve renting out your time. So what you're doing, money earned in a passive income streams, you earn money through a passive income streams, either through your investments or work that you performed in the past. So for example, you invest in a money market fund, you put your money in a money market fund. Let's say you put 50,000 shillings, it has interest over time, and therefore that is a passive income stream because there's nothing you're doing, there's nothing extra you're doing in order for your money to generate the interest. Or another way of earning passive income is where you perform a job in the past, and this job you keep earning money and it doesn't require you to put in more work. So in this example, in this passive income stream, for example, a good example of a passive income stream is an author who writes their books. They don't have to update the book, for example, or they don't have to put in extra work, and many years down the line, they still continue earning money from their work. A classic example is J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. I used to see young people or teenagers reading this book when I was a teenager. You know, when I was 13, when I was 12, I used to see people reading this series. And here I am, more than a decade later, still reading these books. So J.K. Rowling is still earning money decades later. So this, being an author, is an example of earning passive income streams. Even a YouTube channel like this one, for example, people who have YouTube channels, and you recorded videos a few months ago, a few years ago, you continue earning money from, example, the ads that you see on their channels, yet you don't have to put in extra work. So there are two types of income stream: active and passive. In case you're wondering, before I give you the examples of the income streams you should have, let's talk about why should you have multiple income streams. Number one, you have hundreds of bills to pay every month. Why should you depend on one income streams? Why should you depend on one source of income? I'm sure I really don't have to explain this one. The truth is, your bills are loyal, very loyal, but your paycheck is always either threatening to reduce or dump you. Right? So the same way you have hundreds of bills is the same way you should have multiple income streams. Reason number two why you should have multiple income streams: the ultimate flex when it comes to money is having options. You don't want to be stuck with only one option. as the old saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. The same way we advise that when it comes to investments, you should diversify your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's the same way when it comes to income streams. You cannot depend on one income stream, because as I've said, your income is always threatening to either reduce or dump you all together. And so in this part about the ultimate flex being options, I can give a few examples. For example, if you are in an abusive relationship where you have been trying to leave, but the only reason you can't leave is because the other person has the financial muscle to support you, then if you start coming up with ways of creating multiple income streams, then you'll be in a position where you can support yourself and therefore can safely leave the relationship and be independent. Number two, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like morning alarms, you can look for a job. Who doesn't like morning alarms like me? You can look for a job that understands, or a boss that understands, that a job is not something that you go to, but a job is something that you do. Therefore, you can work from anywhere as long as you meet your KPIs. Number three, why having options is important. A lot of us are sometimes stuck in jobs that we hate, toxic work environments. And the thing is, if you're in a toxic work environment and you only have one income stream, that being the paycheck from your boss, you can't speak up at work if you're being harassed, or if you can't speak up if it really is a toxic work environment. Why? How do you speak up when your life 100% depends on this one paycheck? How? You can't. And so if you are able to use your salary or your current paycheck to come up with more income streams, which we are going to talk about later in this video, then that means you'll be onboarding options in your life. Next, if you are a mom and you're planning on if you're planning on having a baby and you'd like to have more than 3 months of maternal leave, and you have more than one income stream, then you can decide that, you know what, I don't have to come back to work. I want to take my sweet 6 months or even 1 year looking after my baby, and after my baby is 1 year or 6 months old, then I can look for another job, because during this period of 6 months or 1 year, you will still have other sources of income to support your lifestyle. See, this is why you need more than one income streams. Reason 3 as to why you should have more than one income streams: it allows you to take up more risks. Just like I said, how do you speak up at work when you only have one paycheck? How do you speak up when you know that if you got fired, then that's it for you? You won't pay your rent, you won't pay your bills, you cannot support yourself. And so what you do is sit there humbly, swallow the humble pie, and take any toxic thing that is thrown at you at work, because, hey, you depend 100% on one paycheck. And so when you have more than one income stream, then you can take the risk of quitting a job and looking for another one. And when you have more than one income stream, it means that you can take up more risk. And most of the time, when you take up more risk, like starting your own business, it's likely to give you more rewards. And so that means that when you have more than one income streams, it gives you an opportunity to be able to expand the types of risks that you can take, and therefore have an opportunity to experience the big rewards that this comes with. And when you have more than one income stream, then you don't risk being completely wiped out if the risky business or the risky entrepreneurship journey doesn't work as planned, because it's possible to start a business and then it fails. If you have more than one income stream, you won't be wiped out. And therefore, to remind you of the analogy we started with in the beginning of this video, you never ever have to start from zero. That should be your goal in life, in a way that whatever happens, you never ever have to start from zero. Reason number 4, you'll have more fun. So one of the most popular personal finance advice out here is just travel the world, your money will come. Yeah, just travel the world, the money will come. Let me ask you, from where will the money come from if you don't have secondary sources of income? Tell me, where will it come from? Money doesn't appear magically in your bank account, right? So you can't go around telling people, just travel, the money will come. It will not come. I'm here to tell you it will not come. And I've experienced it. I am one of those people who'd like to, leave everything and travel the world, and enjoy that kind of life that is shown all over social media. But what happens is that most of the time when I take a trip, I will spend a lot of time during the trip doing the math of, am I spending too much? Am I overindulging? Will I go back home and I'm unable to pay my rent? Will I go back to poverty? And the truth is, at this point in my life, I can tell you for sure that it's possible for me to take a 1 month trip and come back broke, and so that is why I always fight really hard when somebody just tells me, or somebody tells young people, just travel and the money will come. No, the only way to enjoy that flex is, one, if you are born into wealth, hey, please rescue me. Or if you've taken the steps needed to build more than one income streams. And the beautiful thing is, when you have secondary sources of income, when you travel, what will happen is that you will be in a position to not be anxious about overindulging in your trip, which will also allow you to have more fun during your trip. This is why this video is very important to you. Tip number 5, or reason number 5 why you need to have more than one income streams. You'll attain financial freedom faster. It's easy. Instead of just depending on that one paycheck from your 9-to-5 job, or that one source of income from your business, think of how different your life would be if you had 7 sources of income. The same way you have rent, water bill, your electricity bill, you have to buy diapers, you have to pay school fees. The same way you have all those expenses in your list. Imagine a situation where you had all those sources of income in your books. And so having 7 or more sources of income will give you an opportunity to attain financial freedom faster, whatever financial freedom means to you. And I'd be happy if you tell me in the comment section, what does financial freedom mean to you? And so when you have more sources of income, you'll also be in a position to explore all your wild dreams and wild passions that you have in the span of your life. Because one thing I learned from my own journey and from having conversation with the Wealth Tribe is that in your life, you won't only have one wild dream or just one passion. In your 20s, what you're passionate about in your 20s might be completely different from what you're passionate about in your 30s. And so if you have more than one income stream, then you have the flex. Again, options. Again, money and freedom is all about options. Then you'll have the flex to decide, you know what, I don't feel like following up with this job or this passion anymore. Now I want to start up a new passion. And the only way to do that is only when you have money and only when you have options. And so imagine a situation where you have so many income streams, as opposed to what you are now, which is worrying about when your next paycheck will hit or when you'll get money next. Imagine a situation where you have 7 or more income streams, and now your main worry is actually how to track all these sources of income, and again, not forgetting that having more than one income streams will give you the ability to retire early. Nowadays we have so many people, including I, who doesn't want to stick in a job that they hate for years and years, where you have to retire like our parents or our grandparents, where they retired at 65 or at 60, when you're wrinkled and when your body is not as functional as it used to be. And that is the time now you're trying to travel the world. Most of us millennials and even Gen Z, we want to retire at 30, at 35, at 40, and not just retire to just sit around and bum around. We want to retire into jobs or passions that we love. And so these are the 5 reasons why you should have more than one income streams. And anyway, just like the wise Warren Buffett said, never depend on a single income. Make an investment to create a second source. So now let's talk about the 7 types of income streams that you need in order to create lasting wealth. Number 1, earned income. Earned income is an active type of income where you make money from either being employed or self-employed. And there are many ways you can earn earned income. This can be from a salary, from bonuses, from commissions, from tips, from wages. All these are different ways that you can earn money. All these are different ways that you can earn earned income. And for a lot of us, earned income is a primary source of income. And so most of us start from being employed, earning that paycheck, and then gradually working towards building other sources of income, which is exactly what I encourage you to do, is that use your paycheck. If at the moment you only have one type of income, which is employment or self-employment, I encourage you to use that one source of income to gradually onboard other sources or other types of income streams that we are going to talk about. And so a few years ago, I used to think that the only way for me to create lasting wealth would be through bagging a high paying job from one of these big companies, until I learned from Naval Ravikant. I learned from this book, the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, that unfortunately that is not true. Why is this not true? Why is this not true? Naval Ravikant from this book says that you're not going to get rich renting out your time. People seem to think that they can create wealth through work. You probably think the same too. It's not going to work. And there are many reasons for this. The most basic being that your inputs are closely tied to your outputs. Let me explain. In almost any salaried job, even those that pay a lot per hour, like a doctor or a lawyer, you're still putting in the hours, and every hour you work, you get paid. That means that when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation, when you're taking care of your family, or when you're retired, you're not earning. Doctors who get rich, for example, open a business, a brand, a private practice, invent a medical device or process. So if you're a doctor, or any job, you're working for somebody else who's taking on the risk, accountability, and owns the intellectual property in the business or the brand. So the truth is, they're never going to pay you enough. They'll pay you the bare minimum they have to get you to do the job. It can be a high bare minimum, as we've seen, but still it's not going to build you true wealth when you're retired. And this also reminds us that Warren Buffett was right when he said, if you don't find a way to make money when you sleep, you'll work until you die. Of course, if you're part of the Wealth Tribe, or if you're watching this video, one of your goals should be to earn money, whether you're sleeping, whether you're retired, whether you're on vacation, whether you're spending a good time with your family. And so I'm sure that one of the things that that came up when I was reading that part was how many income streams do millionaires have? That is a very common question. How many incomes do millionaires have? From a research study that I read, and I will link it in the description, the average millionaire has at least 3 sources of income. At the very least, they have 3 sources of income. And so this should also be your goal. And so your goal here, if you still have one income stream, should be to use your salary to diversify your income streams, to use your salary to take a percentage of your salary. The bare minimum should be 10%. Bare minimum, you should be saving and investing 10% of your income every month. Use that 10% to onboard the other income streams that we are going to be talking about. Okay? Type number 2 of an income stream that you need to create lasting wealth is business income. Now, a lot of people, you can earn business income from either one business or multiple businesses, and a lot of people here, especially beginners, like to refer to this as a side hustle. And so what I would advise you is that if you want to start a business, because by now I think you've read enough studies that show that 50% of businesses fail before their 5 years of it. Within the first 5 years, most of 50% of businesses fail. And so if you want to start a business, you want to set yourself up as much as you can for success. So what I'd advise you here is to use your salary or use your 9 to 5 to set up your side hustle. So you're working in your 9 to 5 job, and in the early mornings or in the evenings, you set up some time to set up your side hustle. And I am giving this as an example because this is exactly what I did. Last year and all the other years, I've always had a 9 to 5 job, and so I used my 9 to 5 job to set up my blogging business, my coaching business. And so this is exactly what I advise for you. And of course, I would advise you to come up with a side hustle that suits your lifestyle. What do I mean by this? For example, I chose blogging as my side hustle because I realized I'm generally a low energy person, and so if I was to set up a side hustle that involves me selling physical goods or having to deliver physical goods to people or having a physical shop, that is not something I could hack, where I get out of my 9 to 5 job and then during the weekend or during the evenings I have to show up at a shop, for example, or I have to deliver physical goods to people. That would not work for me. I don't have that level of energy. And so this is why I always advise people choose a side hustle that suits your lifestyle, because that is only way to make it sustainable. And so also I have to say that blogging for me also worked because over time I am able to automate a lot of my processes or a lot of my business tasks, which frees up more time for me. Because again, financial freedom to me means having more time, having free time to sleep, to hang out with my friends, to just chill, and to enjoy life. And so that's why blogging works for me. And so I have different ways that I earn money from my online business. I earn through ads. For example, on my website, thewealthtribe.com, if you go there and you're reading an article, you'll see an ad or two. So I get paid for having such ads on my website. Number two, I have a few ebooks that I have ordered. When people buy such ebooks, then I get to earn money from it. I also do financial coaching, and this is a good time to remind you that if you need an accountability partner, if you need somebody to help you onboard all these income streams in your portfolio, hit up your girl and I'll help you do exactly that. And number three, I do earn affiliate income, and affiliate income is where you market or you sell other people's goods and services or products and services. And so this is just a practical example to show you how you can use your 9 to 5 job or your current paycheck to onboard a business income. Yes, and so I also need to add that a lot of us romanticize the idea of owning a business, or romanticize the idea of quitting your 9 to 5 job and starting a business, and becoming an entrepreneur or becoming a girl boss, as nowadays we are called. But the truth is, and this romanticizing also comes with a bit of drama, where you throw up the papers and you say, to hell, I quit. Let me tell you the truth from experience, it's not easy. Because think about it, how are you supposed to quit your job if you don't have an emergency fund? How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your basic bills? How are you going to survive? How are you going to quit your job and start a business if you don't have medical insurance? What happens to you if, let's say, even maybe you had saved like $2,000 to start that business, and then 3 months down the line you fall sick, and so now you have to use the money you had saved to start a business to pay a medical bill. Despite the fact that all these girl boss entrepreneurship messages are pushed down our throat on a daily basis, we have to be practical about how we approach the aspect of having business income. And so I hope that is helpful. The key point here is that use your 9 to 5 job to set up your side income, and so that by the time you're quitting your 9 to 5 job, you have a side hustle that is stable, and therefore you don't have to suffer. Because one of the things I preach against on the Wealth Tribe is let's avoid extreme suffering. Type 3 of income streams that you need in order for you to build lasting wealth: interest income. And so interest income is the type of income where that you earn from your savings and investments. And I like this type of income because it's completely passive. It's completely passive and it's accessible to everyone. And so imagine having invested in a money market fund, in real estate, in bonds, in treasury bills, and all these things, all these investments I'm mentioning. I have already created videos for them, so just check out on my playlist. You'll find all these videos. And so when you invested in a bond, when you invested in a money market fund, when you invested in a real estate investment trust, you earn interest income from these. And again, as I've said, this is one of the most accessible, to mean that you can use your earned income, the first type of income that I mentioned. You can use your paycheck to onboard interest income in your portfolio. It's the easiest one, because, for example, setting a money market fund account is the easiest thing. And if you need help setting up a money market fund, just leave a comment in this video and I'll help you set up one. And so all you need to do is that invest your 9-to-5 job, or you invest your 9-to-5 salary or your paycheck to onboard interest income. Easy peasy. And the beautiful thing about onboarding interest income in your portfolio is that you will be employing the power of compound interest, and compounding is the aspect where your investment earns interest, right? And then your interest earns interest. That is simply what compounding is. And so by onboarding interest income in your portfolio, you'll be employing the power of compound interest, and therefore will skyrocket or you speed up how fast you're going to attain financial freedom. I'm sure that is something you aspire to. You wouldn't be part of the Wealth Tribe if that is not something you aspire to. And by the way, if you like this video so far, please give it a thumbs up, as this allows YouTube to distribute this video to more people. Type 4 of an income stream you should onboard in your portfolio: dividend income. And so dividend income is where shares or profits from a company that you own are distributed to you as a shareholder. And so you can start investing in the stock market, for example, through either buying listed companies on the Nairobi Securities Exchange if you're Kenyan. You can either buy listed companies on the Nairobi Securities Exchange or unlisted companies. Unlisted companies is where you're, for example, you're an angel investor, where you see somebody who has started a business and you invest in their businesses by injecting some money, and so therefore that will make you a shareholder, and so that person is obliged to share their profits with you. And so in this type of income, dividend income, one of the most exciting aspects of investing in the stock market is knowing that employees who work in the companies you've invested in show up every day to work for you. I know several people who fully fund their lifestyle with dividend income. And that kind of lifestyle is not reserved for the chosen few. You can also get to that level of financial security by simply investing in the right businesses on the stock market. And at the moment, I don't have the video yet about how to invest in the stock market, but I will do so. So I encourage you to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss that. But on my blog, thewealthtribe.com, there's already a detailed article on how to start investing in the stock market. And so jump on this opportunity. And again, a reminder that remember at the beginning of this video we talked about two types of incomes: active income and passive income. And dividend income is a type of passive income. Just like I said, employees who work in these companies where you own shares show up at work to work for you. So it's completely passive. You're sleeping, enjoying life, enjoying your soft life, and somebody is showing up in a company to work for you, because at the end of the day, you'll be paying dividends. So this is one of the ways that I encourage you. This is one of the income streams that I encourage you to onboard in your portfolio, so that you can start swimming with the sharks on Wall Street. The fifth type of income stream: capital gains. So when you sell an asset such as real estate, an art, a business, or you sell a loan for a profit, you earn capital gains. Think of it as you had a house or a real estate asset worth 5 million, and then you sell it for 6 million. That difference is capital gains. And so this is one of the ways that this is one of the other income streams that you can have in your portfolio. And of course, I have already given enough insights on how to, for example, to start a business, on how to invest in real estate. I already have a video on how to start investing in real estate, and so you can check all these videos out. Type 6. Sixth type of income stream, rental income. Owning real estate is one of the best ways to both preserve your wealth and grow your wealth. And so you earn rental income when you own rental units, and so you charge your tenants rent. And of course, I completely understand that owning rental units, physical rental units, is one of the most capital intensive investments, which prevents a lot of us from investing in real estate, because we don't have huge capital as young people. But I recently started a whole series on how to start investing in real estate investment trusts in Kenya. And so this series is going to prove to you that you don't have to have huge capital in order for you to start owning real estate. And you can start owning real estate by investing in real estate investment trust. And what are real estate investment trusts? Real estate investment trust is a type of collective investment schemes where people like you and I, investors like you and I, pool our money together, buy real estate assets. Pull our money together, give this money to a professional fund manager who buys real estate assets, and every year this professional fund manager either pays us dividends, and we also earn capital gains, just like I explained. So this is another way of incorporating capital gains as part of your portfolio. Yeah, so if you want to learn how to start investing with real estate with as low as 1,000 Kenyan shillings, you can check my videos, and I'll link it up here to start investing in real estate investment trusts in Kenya. The seventh way that you can the seventh way to start in incorporating income streams in your portfolio is through royalties and licensing income. So for example, we all are familiar with the brand using a celebrity's name to promote their products and services, which earns them royalty income, which earns celebrities royalty income. You can earn this type of income when you own a unique intellectual property that is trademarked, copyrighted, or patented. When people profit from an intellectual property you've created, you're paid royalty fees. And so, of course, as artists or as a creative, this is one of the most sustainable ways of incorporating an extra source of income in your portfolio. Now that you know the 7 ways of the 7 income streams you should have in your portfolio, how do you practically increase your income every month? A month or so ago, I did a video about where I broke down how I review my budget every month. And one of the questions that I talked about in that video is, at the end of every month, I sit down and at the end of every month when I'm dating my money, I sit down and ask myself, Agatha, what is one tangible way that you can increase your income in the next 6 months? And so I invite you to, one, watch that video, and also use this question every end of the month to ask yourself, how can you increase your income streams? How can you increase your income streams in the next 6 months? Why 6 months? Because 6 months is a long enough time for you to plan, save some money, and execute. And so what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to have all these 7 income streams that I have mentioned in order for you to achieve financial freedom. But remember, the average millionaire has at least 3 of them. So you need at least 3 of them in order for you to skyrocket your ability to achieve financial freedom. And of course, it's also very important for you to choose what works for you. You don't have to have all the 7. Even I, at this point, I don't have all the 7. So choose what works for you. Of course, it's very, very important that even if you're choosing the 7, never ever invest in anything that you don't understand, because what happens is that you will end up losing on all your money, which is the exact opposite of what I'm trying to teach you. So first, you have to understand how all these income streams work, or how all these investments work. And so now my question is, if you lost your job tomorrow, or if you lost your core source of income tomorrow, would you have to start from zero? Would you? If you would have to start from zero, then my follow-up question is, what are you going to do in the next 6 months in order for you to onboard these 7 income streams in your portfolio? What are you practically going to do in order for you to onboard these 7 income streams? And so this is a good moment to tell you that if you need help onboarding all these 7 income streams in your portfolio, I have a masterclass coming up on the 30th of July from 7:30 to 9 p.m. where I'm going to teach you exactly how to onboard all these income streams in your portfolio. And I'm also going to teach you the investment mistakes that you should avoid in 2022 and beyond, because that is the only way to make sure that you preserve your wealth, to grow your wealth, which was the whole point of this video. See you in the next one.